So I'm back with another painting video. Today's gonna be fun because I'll be using my fancy iPad Pro and Apple Pencil that I got a month ago. I've been playing with it a lot these past couple weeks, just trying to figure out how to use it and how to incorporate it into my work. We are currently in the month of May, and the weather has been kind of rainy off and on this past week. I love drawing when it's rainy outside. It's like the best weather for drawing. And I've been trying to figure out sort of what to draw and decided to hop onto the MerMay train. I don't know when this whole trend started, and I'm probably not going to participate in the actual month-long challenge, but I've seen so many awesome like mermaid art on my feed lately, and I just wanted to throw my own hat into the mix. These challenges are so funny to me because I generally don't know how they originate, and I definitely don't plan for them like people do, like other people do. So I literally just find out about them as they are happening. But it's a lot of fun, and I do love mermaids. I love how mermaids are still so popular now as they did when I was a kid. I remember watching like, Disney's Little Mermaid when I was, I don't know, like 7 or something, and just being so completely obsessed with the idea of mermaids and wishing so badly that I was a mermaid. Like I'd watch like Little Mermaid, I don't know how many times, and I'd brush my hair with like a fork, just like Ariel does, and my mom would get mad at me. So, I don't know. I still have my Little Mermaid lunchbox from when I was a kid, and I'm just so happy that I still have it. I used to have the matching backpack with Ariel, and it was my favorite backpack of all time. I'm so sad I don't have it anymore. So yeah, I love mermaids. Eventually, like a few years ago, I was at some event celebrating the art of animation, and I actually met Glenn Keane, who was the Disney animator that worked on The Little Mermaid, and I remember telling him to his face that he was part of the reason why I wanted to grow up and be a mermaid when I was a kid. And he just sort of looked at me funny and blinked, and it was so awkward, but so amazing, like all at the same time. So to this day, every time I draw a mermaid, it will almost always be influenced by Disney's Ariel. Like, it's just ingrained in my brain that that's what mermaids look like. Like they have red hair and a seashell bra. Um, so that's just the quintessential mermaid for me, forever. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about my impressions of the iPad Pro in this video. This is the first video where I'm demonstrating it, and I am using the Procreate app, which is a great app, by the way. Yeah, Procreate is great. That should be their motto. As far as how it might affect my work here on out is kind of interesting because, I mostly bought it just so I can digitally paint anywhere I want. The portability of it is a huge plus. And, I could take it to work or a coffee shop or a library. Like, I'm not confined to a desk all day long, which is great. At home, I have a lot of different, tools at my disposal. Like, I already had, all the traditional tools and paint and brushes and stuff. And I had a drawing tablet as well as Cintiq. So I wasn't really sure how much I would enjoy the iPad Pro, but now that I've had it for a month, I think it's, definitely worth the money. I work faster on it, and it's cool that I can export things out as a PSD and fine-tune my illustration in Photoshop, like on my Cintiq later on. So that's a real plus. So far, my favorite brush in Procreate is the Jasinski brush. It's actually under the inking section, and it kind of reminds me of like using like a thick gouache paint, which is really cool because gouache is pretty tricky to use. Like real gouache is really tricky to use. So those are my pros. The cons is that this thing was hella expensive, so I feel like I have to treat it like a baby, constantly worrying that I'm gonna drop it or break it. I'm kind of accident prone, so I don't know. And then as far as I could tell, I have not found a great like watercolor brush for Procreate. If you guys have found one that works pretty well, please let me know, because I will still continue using traditional watercolor, because I just feel like that effect is so hard to do digitally in a convincing way. So yeah, and even in Photoshop it's hard to do. So that's my initial impressions of the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, and I'm really happy with it so far. So I'm just gonna leave you guys with that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of MerMay, and I'll see you in the next video.